I have many. I have much. I have a lot of. I have lots of. All of these are used to talk about having a large amount of something. But what's the difference between them? First, we need to make sure that you understand countable nouns and uncountable nouns. So we're going to start with a very quick review of those. Countable nouns are things that we can count 1, 2, 3 very easily. When we look at them, we can very easily say that is one, and that is one. When we have more than one, we change the noun, usually by adding s. 1 pen, 2 pens. Uncountable nouns are things that we can't easily count. Rice is a good example. We never say 1 rice or 2 rices. We can measure rice, but when we do that, we aren't counting rice. We are counting the units of measurement. For example, 1 kilo of rice or 2 cups of rice. Okay, now we can continue on to our topic. Let's start with I have a lot of and I have lots of. These two are basically the same, but I have lots of is a bit more informal than I have a lot of. Both of these can be used with countable nouns and uncountable nouns. So I can say I have a lot of students or I have lots of students. And I can say I have a lot of water or I have lots of water. Just remember that when you have a countable noun, you need to use the plural form of the verb. That's why I said a lot of students, not a lot of student. And when you have an uncountable noun, there is no plural form. So rice is always just rice. Water is always just water. I have many means the same thing as I have a lot of and I have lots of, but it's only used with countable nouns. I have many is also more formal than I have a lot of and I have lots of. Because most English conversations are informal, this means that you will probably hear I have many less often than you will hear I have lots of or I have a lot of. So it's correct to say I have many books, but most of the time I would probably say I have a lot of books or I have lots of books. Finally, I have much. This one is only used with countable nouns, and it sounds very formal. You will probably hear this one occasionally, but it's not very common in daily conversation. However, I have so much and I have too much are common in daily conversation. I have so much basically means I have a very large amount. The word so makes it stronger and more emotional. For example, I have so much work to do today. I have too much basically means that the amount that you have is inappropriate. The amount that you have is more than it should be, or more than you want it to be. For example, I have too much work. I won't be able to finish all of it. Now, let's review what we've learned. I have lots of and I have a lot of are informal, common, good for daily conversation, and can be used with both countable and uncountable nouns. I have many is more formal than the first two and can only be used with countable nouns. I have much is the most formal of these three, isn't used very often, and is only used with uncountable nouns. Finally, I want to be clear that this video is about when we use these words in sentences that start with I have. They can be a little bit different when we use them in questions, negative sentences, and other positive sentences that don't start with the words I have. And I will talk about that a bit more in future videos. I hope you learned something today. Thank you for watching.